right, we made it to the end of the creek here. There's a little waterfall here. I'll show you in a second. It's actually pretty nice. But I'm gonna get up over to the other side here, see what we're dealing with for the boats and the water levels. But so far this water is actually really high. Usually that beaver dam's up pretty high and you have to give it a pretty good go at it to get over it. But hey, easy right now. We'll see what the rest of the creek looks like. All right, I don't know if you can hear me over the little waterfall here. It's actually really nice. I tried flying the drone in there, but the tree cover is so thick, it just wants to rotate and fly every direction because the GPS signal doesn't get through here. So check it out with this camera and then what I got from the drone. It's actually a really nice place. It's too bad the tree cover's so thick around it you can't actually see all of it. But they used to have some bridges over it when the lodge was first started, you know, 1930s, 40s. But there's one of the old bridges right there. You can see, not much good anymore. It's too bad the tree cover's so thick here because you can't actually see what this place looks like. So the trick here right above the waterfall is to actually bring one boat with a motor still attached down this creek down into this pond. The hard part is if the water's low, you actually have to pick the boat up over the rocks and bring it down. So one person, not really achievable with the way the 3 motors in there and all the rest of the gear. We'll see what the water level's at. That's why I'm in here to check it out. But if we can do that, it saves me carrying these motors an extra 2 kilometers. So it's only about the distance of this waterfall is what I would actually have to carry all 3 motors. So it's not bad at all once I do get them out to here. But that's the goal. We'll see if that actually happens, you know, how things are. I see there's a tree down already from a storm. So we'll see what the rest of the trail looks like and if we're gonna be able to get those motors out like that. Would you look at that? Just over at the boat cache on the other side, and yeah, it's a little messy. Guys definitely pull these boats up in a funny fashion. You can see this one, somebody just let the back end get too low and it's full of water. You're supposed to pull them up and pull them on the racks with that winch up on the tree, which is not connected to anything, and you know, so they drain out with the plug out of them. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this one all taken care of. That's the boat I'm gonna take, get it out of the water, bail it out, pull it up on the rack a bit higher so it's out of the water and not sunk on the dock like that. But hey, I'll have to do it later anyways, so I'm just gonna do it right now. Let's get it done. So that's enough there just to get the back end out of the water. Or at least, let's see, someone left the plug in it too. As long as you get the back end of the top of the boat out of the water, that way you can bail what is remaining out of it, and you're able to get it from being sunk basically. Nailed out. Now we're gonna head out there. That boat's good. Just gonna go check out the water levels on the creek. We're out on the lake here, you can see boat cache there. hopefully I can get through that creek pretty easy. That'll save a whole lot of hauling these motors out. We'll see here. It's high water, so we might luck out. Even though with high water in the spring, it can still be tough getting through that creek though, that's the problem. I'm gonna have to paddle the rest of the way in. So here's what I'm talking here. This is why it's pretty difficult. You can see all those rocks down there. Once you get by this first little pile of sticks here, I could bust that up pretty easy by hand. There's a bit of a flow through there. I think I could snake through the middle there, you know, just a bit of work getting it over in between. I don't know if you can see it on this because this is so far away, but there's two rocks there that are about the width of the boat. If I could just lift one side up, I think I might be able to get through there. There's usually not this much flow, but I'll have to break all this up to get out. But hey, that looks promising. But so does this. Let's go see if we can catch a lake trout on underwater camera for you. So one of my favorite baits out here is the Rapala Tail Dancer in TD 20 depth, UV pink color. It just works really well. You know, UV orange works as well, but not as good as the UV pink. The 20-foot depth also works better than the 30-foot depth. So you just seem to be fishing under them when you're using the TD 30s. But we're gonna troll around here. There's a bit of a reef structure here that they do hang around. There's lots of bait on it, and that's obviously why they're there. This mimics the bait that's in this lake pretty well, actually, the size and the profile of it, but the color is a little off. But the bright water, bright sun, the UV pink really works well to get that silhouette in the water for these lake trout. I've got the underwater camera on here, so we're gonna throw this down and hopefully we can get some action, some chasing, some bumps, and some strikes and some fish on. So we're gonna get this in the water. Hopefully I can get a couple lake trout quick because I don't want to spend all day doing this. I've got to get back and get those motors out of here. So this will be the last kick at the lake here this year. But yeah, we're gonna try a few spots and hopefully that works out. Well, something just bit me off there. It actually hit the camera and not the bait. And I just saw the bait floating back up here. There it is. I'm gonna go back and grab that. That's the nice thing about using a floating lure. If they break off your leader, the bait floats back up and you can retrieve it. See that whatever broke off bit me off right at the camera. It must have hit the camera thinking the camera was a meal. I'm sure it was a little pike or something, but I'm gonna tie that back up and we'll see if we can get a trout out here. Just hooked up with one. Feels pretty decent. It's a little windy out here. I moved out to the big open water and just targeting this wind-blown structure here. And as soon as that line came across that island behind me, you can see there's a little reef off of it. We hooked up with one here. Feels pretty heavy, but you know, with the camera on there and just pretty heavy setup. It's a huge largemouth in the middle of the open water. Look at that. That is funny. As soon as that fish jumped, I knew it wasn't a trout. Look at that. That is too funny. A largemouth on a tail dancer and restructure. Look at the belly on that thing. We'll get this one straight back in here. That's too funny. There you go. All right. Well, This lake is known for plenty of largemouth bass, and I guess that backs it up. I'm fishing open water in like 80-90 feet, come across that little reef, wind-blown reef, and hook up with a largemouth bass. So maybe next time we can hook up with the trout here. Well, lake trout's just not happening today, and the amount of time I have on that camera, that battery just dies so fast. You just, if you don't get one within then, there's no way of recharging it out here. So it takes a long time to recharge also. So I am back at the boat cache, and I'm gonna get to getting some of these motors out of here. But I'm gonna head back quick now. I know what I'm dealing with here. Get some tools and the dog. Actually, I'm gonna bring the dog back in, and you know, he can enjoy some time outside as well. But yeah, we're gonna put all these motors in one boat, flip these two, chain them, lock them, clean up anything left behind here, take the other ones down the creek, and then carry them out to the other boat, and then back across, then transfer them into a trailer, and then up to the shop, then winterize them all, then put them on racks and store them for the winter. So that's how that's gonna happen. But yeah, it's gonna take a bit of time, but I'm gonna get back and get a different set of clothes on here, more for working, and get the dog, and we'll be right back. We made it back. Got my buddy with me. We are going to transfer these two motors into this boat, pull all the other fuel and safety kits, paddles, all that stuff out of there, and seats, throw them all in this boat. I'm gonna head down over the creek there, gonna pull these two boats out, flip them, chain them, clean up any garbage that's left behind, all that kind of stuff, and take this boat down the creek with the motors. That's gonna save me 2 kilometers to get out of here, carrying the motors by hand, but yeah, it'll be a lot better than carrying them across the trail myself. So yeah, let's get it done. All right, motors are pulled. Time to get these boats out and flipped. These ones aren't terrible. 12 footers. You can pretty much pull them out yourself and flip them. Just got to get them high enough for the high water. And close enough together that you can get the chain around the tree. Number 2 flipped. Boat's all chained up, deek's all muddy. This boat's all loaded up, ready to go. Let's go. There you go. She's a little loaded down. Doesn't help with this big guy in here. All right. Couple motors, couple paddles. We're gonna drive on over the creek there. pretty rocky in here. Gonna have to switch to a paddle in a second. That's about all that's gonna take us. Pull that up, out of the way. We'll see. Heavy parts in the middle. No, we'll be good. This'll work. This'll do the trick. Look at this. It's the end of the pond over there. We'll be able to rip right up there with the motor. Got through the creek. Pete doesn't know what's going on. So far I've managed to keep my feet dry even with a leaky boot here. Brand new boots, but they leak right from the factory. We are in the clear now. That's the waterfall right there. You can just see the edge of the sticks right there. We're just going right to this flat rock. That's where we pull the boat up. I'll offload all these motors and carry them the rest of the way. There we go. So that just saved me 2 kilometers of carrying these motors out myself. Right at the edge of the waterfall here. Got the motor down the pond. Really wasn't difficult at all. Usually it's a lot harder than that, but hey, I guess things lucked out this time. Doesn't always work like that, but sometimes it does. Well, that's number 1. Easier to carry it like that. There's so many metal parts that just scrape on your neck when you're trying to carry it over your shoulder. Not really worth it. I'm not gonna lie though, the hardest thing was picking it up and down 3 times to get the different camera shots of going up this trail to offload it at the boat down there. That's it, motor number 3. Let's go right in the boat. Save picking it up again. That's the hardest part, is keeping your balance in all these boats with the motors. it, motor number 3. Just gotta load them in the boat, get a couple seats, pull that other boat, and we're done. Well, I forgot to film pulling the boat out, but it's out and flipped. Last stuff left, a couple paddles, a couple safety kits. Pretty simple, pretty sweaty, pretty hot. Yeah, I'm gonna head over to the boat, load those last 2 motors, probably jump in that creek there for a minute, but get back to the dock and get some water because I forgot my water. Stupid.